Hello all, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel. I was just lying here and had a whole bunch of information kind of drop in, so I thought I would share. There's quite a bit. The reason I'm inside today and kind of doing my life as a possibly slightly anxious individual, which I don't generally do, it was noticeable, to stay inside, avoid, and I started wondering why. And then, oh my goodness, the avalanche of self-doubt started, and I really am being called to express to others that if this is the time of doubt, which it is, for many of us, we're coming into the 7-7 portal and burning off perhaps some that it might bring up some self-doubt. And so as I was here, I'm thinking, I feel a certain way about my life, and yet there's doubt, anywhere where I'm moving some stuff right now that's kind of complicated. It can be seemingly kind of complicated because, I need to make some shifts in my life, and I may need to leave my apartment and actually move to another one in the next 3 or 4 days. And I have no idea how that's working out because I'm riding that quantum wave of, yeah, spirit's got me. And right now it's just not the healthiest, most energetically supportive thing for me to be out in the world trying to do earth apps. I need to let my teams do what they do and energy to play out the way it's playing out in the quantum world and in woo-woo, spaceship, spiritual, weird stuff land where, divinity's really got that and taken care of it. Well, unfortunately, I find that my human being is getting tweaked and twerked and a lot for the last couple of days with self-doubt and, well, are you sure? You should be doing this. And I started reviewing some videos of mine from a year ago, a little more than a year ago. And I had the same situation where, I can't say that my human being loves to ride that edge of, down to the last minute, but this is what I was doing last year, was demonstrating to myself and others, if they care to see it, that, having that faith of a mustard seed, sometimes it just has to start as faith, period. Whatever size it is, that I'm not even able to really see that. I need my, micron scan, thing to be able to see my faith. It's a matter of, my statement is, I'm willing to at least have faith that something good is coming out of this, because it could appear that I've got this giant mess and, what did I do? And because I pulled the trigger on moving my whole entire life out of where I live now, and it was not, in fact, ultimately the decision that I went with. So it can appear like, I made all this, these stupid mistakes, and it isn't so much that I'm hung up there too much anymore. It's just that the doubt of, okay, why am I not doing this? And so as I'm watching videos from last year, when I first started my channel, I'm seeing that I was doing the same thing then, just seemingly with more confidence, and with more confidence at that moment that I was making those videos, and I'm sure still had my doubt that had to be brought in. That's just matrix misunderstanding bullshit, quite frankly. It's old patterning, it's old paradigm, and it's old coding from just junk that doesn't work, and it has to sometimes work, filter through consciously for me to, move it out and move it off. However, just a stray little thought here and there, I'm going to be okay with a stray thought might take me down for 2 or 3 minutes versus 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3, lifetimes or something like that. Because for me, I'm all about the most efficient way for me to reach my divinity, not find a back door and not try to find, some workaround. Grieving is grieving, and shadow work is shadow work, and dealing with karmic relationships that we need to resolve those cords, desperately. They hurt, and it takes some real, cojones. It takes some real something to get that, and sometimes I'm pressed and challenged, just like everybody else. However, just giving up before I absolutely try everything. Well, I tried all the stuff that didn't work, and when I started really working with how can I deal with this and move it forward and deal with the doubt that comes up with, yeah, how stupid I am, and that's old programming, Kate, that's what it is. I just talk to myself. That's just old programming, and we're going to need to go on something besides listening to that. And used to give it a voice, give that little nattering thing a voice, and then when that nattering voice was pretty much healed inside of me, those little childlike voices that were going, wait a minute, we're nervous, when it went away and started coming back as something more than just an annoyance, like it's a growing annoyance kind of thing. Like, this isn't really a child part that needs healing. This is just an old paradigm that's visiting me and giving me a chance to clink, kick it off, get it off my perimeter. And anytime that I can face that demon of self-doubt and kick it out, shout it out, that actually helps the whole collective of humanity. Anytime we can look at our own self-doubt, our fear, our lack of, courage anywhere, or our unwillingness or stubbornness, once we recognize where we're not in the most efficient energy probably, and we correct that not only makes changes that will ripple forever, especially if we get on that quantum wave. It doesn't just change for us, it changes for all of humanity, for every single person that changes their dumb ideas, including mine. I mean, any dumb idea I ever have, I have a chance to review it a lot, 555. I'm the Indigo Tower, man. I play Team Tower. We're Indigo Tower, and position number 555. I'm all about change, because that's really what we need, is all these millennials and hippie children and stuff, the stuff that started in the 60s with tie-dye and LSD and other alternate experiences. We need to really open up and unlock all of the value and the treasure of the age of Aquarius, which, la 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 la, sounds all hippie and new age and stuff, and it is, and yet we have to find a way to incorporate that woo-woo stuff into the very locked and rigid logistical understanding of things, and find that balance that Earth calls us to do anyway, because we live in a very balanced environment with her. She sets the standard by giving us the seasons and weather patterns and predictable patterns, as well as throwing in the curveball of, there's a little something for you, because we're trying to help her recover, get better, and be able to deal with going forward how we heal, because there's just collective consciousness that's rising, and every time I can lock into that and support it by, infusing a little bit of something from me that, I'm not going to buy that bullshit about that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I couldn't do it, that I made it out in my other place a year ago with about 4 days, to clear it. And I can't say I love being that kind of a hero in my own world. However, that's what I needed to do back then to make that work. And it did grow my faith. I've just managed to get a little bit, sidelined with some revisitation of old patterns and old behaviors, because I'm making huge life changes, because I want to. I don't want to ever stay stuck anywhere. I don't want to be stagnant, and I don't want to be unwilling to look at what's the best way for me to do this, whatever it is. And when it's very much divinity directed, and I don't have any influence from out here anywhere, the only thing I have to deal with at that point is self-doubt. And that's just installed bullcrap from how I was raised, how I was dealt with as a human being my whole life, just like everybody else. I don't have a special case. We are all being abused. We're all being abused by this horrible paradigm. And it's time to just let it go. The age of Pisces, it had its time, a few million years or whatever it is. It's had its stage time. And now get Bougie Barbie Night off the stage, and let's bring in something classier that also knows how to incorporate Bougie Barbie Night. Let's set a standard that's much higher. The expectation that, we're going to be kind to one another, respectful, loving, compassionate, forgiving, all of those things. That's a beautiful, beautiful concept, quite humanitarian and lovely. And it's not happening overnight. It happens one thought at a time of, hey, maybe the, racial bias I have right there could be eased up a bit by just, you don't have to change your whole mentality. I don't have to change my whole mentality overnight about anything that I might be prejudiced against. I just need to be willing to open up the mind and say, am I willing to at least let that sliver of knowledge in? Because anywhere where we're dark, any sliver of light coming in is going to necessarily ripple and change. So it's about changing up the energy. And how do we do that is, change our mind, get out of that stagnation. And Earth, Mother Nature, she's here to help us do that. And so is all the other energy that's here supporting us from outer space or dimensions or whatever our belief system is. I happen to embrace belief system that incorporates quite a bit of energy coming from a lot of different sources, and they're all high vibration. They're all here to support Earth and Earth citizens and every inhabitant here, regardless of whether they're here to do their nasty business from elsewhere or not, or whether they think they are. If you got here, you came through the portal of loving entry, which it has, what looks like a not so loving exit sometimes. The exit looks a little violent sometimes because we're not going in accordance with that divine flow. There are no expendable people in my world, and I don't believe cosmically we can really make that fly, that we just have something that's bigger than us other than the highest frequency, which is love, pure love, period. That's all there is. That's the ultimate answer. There may be some understanding outside of our, experience here in the galaxies and universe that we understand. There may be something different. However, even if it comes here, so far it hasn't been able to blow up the earth or stop my mission or anybody else that's dedicated to forgiveness and healing. That's what this is about. We need to stop finding all the reasons why we shouldn't have to do that, because even lizards need love. And, I'd love to see us not be disparaging anybody and say, they're such a cockroach, they're such a lizard, they're such a this. They're such a human being, an earth citizen, and we all deserve to be not written off. And when you've been written off, that's pretty painful. So when that doubt shouts out and says, hey, Kate, do you know what you're about? I go, oh, yeah, I don't do that anymore. That's just the old paradigm trying to jump up and convince me that I might want to take a trip back there in 1111. I don't, I did. I took a trip there and went, yeah, I still hate the way this feels. And it just feels so much better to believe what's truer and what really rings in. That dissonance and that disgusting feeling is because it's not true. That's what's the problem, is I'm trying to believe a lie about myself that, oh yeah, self-doubt. See, I couldn't possibly, there's somewhere inside of me that believes that, oh, don't say that. Yeah, self-doubt, shout it out. I visited it. Believe me, I had a few panic attacks and so what can I do? Listen to my body say, listen, boo, just lie down. Let's take these, things that are happening over the weekend to your body physically that you don't have to understand, you don't have to question, you don't have to anything. Just, we're telling you, you need to rest and stay inside for right now and just relax and then deal with those little self-doubt issues as they come and heal you, heal the collective, heal, period. And who benefits? T-Riff, that's wonderful. However, your obligation is to take that self-doubt stuff and just walk it right to the door, blow it up, whatever. It has to be done to remove it, because it's just old paradigm. So that's what I'm working with today. I hope that anyone that can use that information, that you can go forward, perhaps helped and healed, and find a way to ease up one little sliver at a time. If that's what we're willing to do, great. And when we're willing to give, a thicker slice, we get thicker blessings. That's just the way that energy works and karma and all of that. And, what kind of a thick slice do you want to give? Well, or get, is kind of based on what kind of a thick slice you want to receive, how nasty a quality do you want to put out there, because that's going to end up being ultimately the quality that's coming back in its purest state. We could have a pretty good lifestyle, but I want to have more than 70% of my life being good. I'm really, I'm piggy pie. I want to have all of it. I want 100% of my life to be perfect. 100% of my life is perfect. However, when 60% of it is all that's really happy or satisfied, that's not nearly, those are odds. I don't want to go into the Hunger Games at all. However, if I had to go in, they wouldn't be with those odds. So how can I go with Hamish right beforehand and get skilled up on, don't stop at the cornucopia, do this, do that, and earn my way. I'm already a warrior and all that. However, I've got to earn my way through those games. And once I do, I don't really want to set it up that I'm doing the Hunger Games anymore. However, when I'm called to that spot, hey, self-doubt, shout it out. This is this is a dead equation. We don't do that anymore. Oh yeah, that's right. And it helps a lot. So it doesn't help every time. Sometimes I cry, have my tears today even, and still I have to say that 60% of my life being happy and 40% being tears? No, because I'm honest when those tears come, when that pain comes, I'm honest. 100% of it goes to grieving, and it takes less time. It hurts. I want to, just run away and bury my head in the sand and wish that I could go somewhere and not experience it. And yet I know that as much as it heals me, it heals the collective as well. And so thank you very much for your time. I hope you're well. Enjoy your day, whatever part of the day you're in, friend. And don't forget, get within your skin, because you're divine. Totally, totally, totally fine. Take care of yourselves, friends, and be well. Bye.